Oh yeah, this is probably vlog 20 since we started. Well, you've all seen the post, so I don't really know what more I can kind of add, really, in the way of news, so to speak, to inform you. With regards to the week, it's been a bit of a long and crazy one, really. The whole idea was that I go up to Manchester with my mum, having been out of her the weekend just gone for her 70th birthday. So off we went up to Manchester. I was feeling reasonable, considering for the last week I'd been feeling a bit ropey and under the weather. And so off we trotted up to Manchester. Had quite a nice evening Sunday, and then Monday I was due at the hospital for 9 for an MRI scan on my head. Always makes the day really, really long. I was then due various different other tests, bloods and this, that and the other, and then you go in and see the doctor. So went in to see the doctor, saw the professor, who you could tell was a bit off just to start off with. He was just a bit acting differently, like the news was a bit different. And he had the joyous news of telling me that my brain tumours are growing. He's surprised that they're not really noticeably causing me any neurological problems. He basically doesn't think that TILS is working, that everything now is really geared towards referring me back to a local centre. Really not sure that the options are terribly good right now. I think there are a couple of things they can see. If I can tolerate BRAF inhibitors, they're the things that made me really sick before, but if I can tolerate them, then I might buy myself a couple of months. So that was kind of the news from him. You know, it's just one of those, there's not much I can do for you, and so I'm sitting and chatting to you here, but actually what you need to do is contact your hospice, and you need to be in contact with the local team, because, you know, look, if you're unwell, then obviously things aren't brilliant coming up to Manchester all the time, which is fine. I always wanted to transfer my treatment more locally. It was just the way of the conversation. It's just the way it went. I kind of knew it was coming anyway, I think. I'd seen a lot of the tumours on my skin grow, and so in a way, much as I'd hoped that the tumours in my head weren't growing, and we could find something specific for the skin tumours, I was kind of hoping that they weren't growing, or at least weren't there really, but weren't growing, or weren't growing at such a rate that we know that things aren't working, and that things are probably quite troubling. So that went on, and then I had to go up for my Pembro, because they're sticking to the let's give you a few doses of Pembro to see whether it works. Sorry, flaky skin on my face. And so my treatment chair was due to be 1 o'clock, but it wasn't until 4 o'clock, so a lot of hanging around and waiting, because you're going to have to wait around for them to contact you. Then had the treatment. And then was extremely sick that evening. Went back to the hotel, had something to eat, and a couple of hours later was just horrendously ill, and then was ill all through the night. We were due to be flying back from Manchester Airport at something like 4 or something in the afternoon, and we sort of, it was all I could do to do each stage of the journey, really, because I just did the proper chemo throw up situation. So I've managed to throw up quite well in Manchester Airport. Got on the aeroplane, got up in the air, felt immediately sick, but managed to hold it together until I got off the aeroplane, and then threw all over Exeter. Vommed all over Exeter Airport runway, much to the disdain of the staff there. Then managed to hold it together in the car on the way home, and then threw up as soon as we got home. So yeah, I've done quite well at making new friends with the toilet. I've been sick a couple of times since, which is really lovely, but things today seem to have settled down a little bit, which is quite nice. What else is news? I've had a reasonable amount of support from my local hospice and the palliative care team. They've been in and sort of looked at the house and stuff like that. They're talking about taking me in for a few days, possibly next week, to see whether they can get my pain under control, because my pain is excruciating, particularly in the morning. And then during the day, it's sort of, I can manage it, and then in the evening it starts to sort of come back on, so sort of the tail end of the day, the beginning of the day. The beginning of the day is awful when the alarm goes off, or you get woken up just as the household is waking up. Oh my God, I can't describe the pain, really. It's like my skin is not my own. I don't really know how to describe the pain because there isn't anything like it. You'll notice that I'm quite puffy. You can't really see it on here, but all my eyelids are quite puffy, and I'm puffy here, and all my skin's really, really dry. All my ears all blurred and stuff. That's part of the Pembo side effects. So I look positively appetising, I think, with my dry skin and my bleedy ear. Oh, and my very pale lips. Yeah, look like I need some blood, don't I? Oh dear. Better get out vampiring tonight. That's part of the Pembo side effects, along with shortness of breath and lymphedema and stuff like that, which I'm suffering with big style. I can hear myself breathe, which is horrible. So I've been to the doctors today, spoken with them, etc. And we are going to take some frusemide each morning to see whether that helps. The frusemide is a drug that makes you wee, so hopefully you can wee out some of the excess water. I've got a nice new bottle from my friends, so I can watch what I'm drinking each day, because if we're giving something to wee out, we need to know what we're taking in. So we need to make sure we're taking in enough. Otherwise, we'll wee it all out, and I'll just be skin and tumours. That would be no good, would it? So I haven't really had a huge amount of chance to think at all, and I don't really know what to think, to be honest with you. I looked on Facebook and I see that I've got 160 odd comments, and I have looked at each and every one. It's too much for me to answer or repost a reply to each and every one. I'm sorry, I just don't have the energy, and I thank you for all of your wishes. And I completely get what you're saying. You should be out there chasing life and living each day and stuff like that. But when you're in pain and knackered and everything else that goes with it, And then you do need to fit in some element of normality for the kids. They do need to go to school. They do need to do certain things that keep them sane and not panicking, things like that. Then I find it really hard to think about going away or bucket lists or things like that, because I just don't have the strength to consider them. And I think if you can have a bucket list and live your life in a fashion that means you're not bound by monotony and having to earn money and having to go to work and not enjoying life, then something's wrong. You know, I've been there and I've done that, and actually I should have been doing my bucket list 10 years ago, not now that I'm that unwell that I can't even think about a bucket list. Yeah, we will do some stuff with the kids. I'm not quite sure what yet. But if I look at how unwell I've been over the last couple of weeks, then I don't know how I could tramp around Disneyland or whatever for 2 or 3 days without really struggling. You know, there's stuff I'd love to do, like go up to Lapland and stuff like that, but I'm not well enough to do those things. And I could send Sarah away with the kids, but it wouldn't be the same for them because they'd be wanting to be at home. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. I do get it, I honestly do, but when I think about things like bucket lists and stuff we should be doing with our family, friends, kids and stuff like that, they're everyday things. Get out there and do them every day. Don't worry about all of the little things in life that, you know, they'll be there tomorrow. You know, I'm not saying go mad, I'm saying live sensibly, but don't get caught up in the monotony of life and stuff that's going on around you. I mean, geez, I haven't been at work for 6 or 7 months now, and I don't expect there's been any disaster as a result of me not being at work. I expect things have been cracking on quite fine. You know, they are not necessarily needed there. I am a name in a job, and I did that job to the best of my ability, and I hope, you know, at the end of the day it was appreciated. But I'm not irreplaceable. Somebody else can step in and do my job, yeah, definitely, but I still step in and do the job. So I guess what I'm saying is, go out there, obviously do what you need to do, work and stuff like that, but don't let yourself become a slave to it. You should be able to go into work and enjoy it and come home and it be part of your existence, your life, your whatever. And if the job can't be like that and you're finding it stressful, go out and get another job. Don't sit in it and get all stressed and then not be able to do other things in life. Make sure you do something special in every month. You know, with yourself, with your family, with your friends. Tick something off that you want to do every month. You might not be here if you don't do that. You might then not have been able to do any of those things. Just think about it, that's all I'm saying. So, it looks like time is of the essence. And I guess it's how you deal with that. I'm kind of hoping that I'll start to feel a bit better so that I can deal with it. Otherwise it's going to be a pretty sad and boring little existence for the next however many months. Not being able to do too much and just slowly deteriorating. No fun at all. A girl needs a little bit of fun in her life, surely. So, don't really have a plan right now. Waiting to hear from various different sources. Don't really know what's going on. And, just feeling a bit blue, one might say. Because one feels rather rubbish. That makes one feel blue. If that makes sense. If one feels a bit better, or can get to sleep, then the day is better all round. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.